New South Wales taking a giant step towards retaining the State of Origin shield, defeating Queensland 18-6 in Game 1 in Brisbane. Zach Lomax had a first half to remember with a double to see the Blues lead 14-2 at the main break. New South Wales made to sweat, losing Brian To'o to the sin bin for a mid-air tackle. With the one-man advantage, Queensland hit the scoreboard early in the second half. It was sloppy at times before the Blues produced something special to seal it.
Got help by Asua Malaawi. Last tackle. Cleary again. Back to the right-hand side. Lomax versus Holmes. Lomax makes the catch out the back. Here's Watson trying to keep it alive. Pops it out to Edwards. Edwards plants it down.
Mitch Moses and Nathan Cleary worked well together in the halves, with Cleary playing a part in all 4 New South Wales tries. So since Origin became a 3-game series in 1982, the team that's lost the first game has come back to win the series just 11 times out of 42. Payne Haas, huge name player of the match, 154 run meters and 5 tackle breaks. All right, so New South Wales drawing first blood. Let's take you live now to Brisbane, where our man who's been across it all week, Dane Lillingstone, joins us now. Dane, wasn't quite the classic encounter to open the series, but it was pretty tense.
Yeah, good morning, Luke. That's right, you said. Hasn't been really a classic Origin opener, but it was tense, and Queensland did somehow make it a contest. Of course, New South Wales didn't help themselves by having those missed conversions. They really could have put this game to bed earlier, and from the Queensland side of things, you'd say they were their own worst enemy at times. Did make a few errors, didn't really go their way, just couldn't really find it really in attack either. Billy Slater is going to be under pressure a little bit now. They haven't really scored too many points in Queensland these last 2 games at Suncorp, but for New South Wales, they don't really need to make many changes at all. Payne Haas was monstrous, like you just mentioned, made the most metres of any forward on the ground, and only made 30 tackles. Sorry, I shouldn't say only, made 30 tackles and with no misses. Man of the match performance. So they were all pretty happy in Blues camp last night.
Yeah, we know what Queensland do. They're going to bounce back, and we have to prepare better and be better next game to get the win, because they're going to be up for it. So, yeah.
Will you back up Saturday?
Yeah, I'll go tomorrow. Be back at the club tomorrow doing recovery and stuff, and I'll talk to managers and stuff. They're pretty good with me, and they look after me well, so we'll see what happens. Bit sore at the moment, but it's always better when you have a win. So.
Now, the mood up there on the streets of Brisbane, Dane, must be pretty sombre this morning. The size of the task facing Billy Slater and this Queensland side right now as it stands this morning seems monumental.
It does, Luke. And I suppose the real problem for the Queenslanders now is who can they bring and who can they change? Because that is always the storyline after an Origin, especially after a Game 1 loss. What changes can they make? But what changes can Billy Slater make? There's not too many players knocking on the door that were left out of this team. You could argue Selwyn Cobbo could come in, Hori Korsborough, but they don't have too many to choose from, like New South Wales and the plethora of talent that they have to pick from at this moment. So pressure is building on Billy at the moment, but the Queenslanders and their spirit, he has been backing his players. Doesn't want to make too many changes because he really can't, but he was unhappy with their own performance last night to go down on that Origin opener.
I definitely don't think it's a personnel thing. Like, I know what this team's capable of, and that's why you can probably see I'm disappointed, because they haven't played their best footy, and I feel responsible to try and help them get there. So yeah, it's definitely not a personnel thing. To be honest, they've had a great attitude as well, but to the discipline side of the game, the attitude wasn't good enough. No.
Now, the Brian To'o sin binning just before halftime, yes, it didn't prove instrumental or consequential in the end result, but given how close Origin is, on another night, it actually could have. What's your thoughts on the decision behind and the reasoning behind To'o going to the bin just before the break?
Yeah, look, it's a decision that could have flipped the game on its head, obviously, on the stroke of half-time, when New South Wales really had dominated that entire first 40 minutes. Sending him to the bin, you could say it was maybe a 50-50 call, one that went Queensland's way. Was he just trying to contest for the ball, or did he take him out in the air? That's, of course, the million-dollar question. It did go Queensland's way on this occasion. Of course, Toto gets sent to the sin bin for what I believe was the first time in his career, he said in his post-match press conference, and that did open the door for Queensland to get back in. Of course, Xavier Coates scores early in the second half when they are down to 12 men. So it could have turned the game on its head, but it is a decision that now will be debated, at least for the next few days.
I think he went up to contest, and then obviously, in a split second, he's had his hand on his shoulder. If you slow anything down, you can turn it into whatever you want. But that's the challenge you face when you come here.
I think that was about right. Don't we all? Like, it was either a penalty try or a sin bin. So the fact that Xavier didn't probably take clean possession probably weighed towards a sin bin rather than penalty try. I've no concerns about that.
So, Luke, 3 weeks in Perth, can they level the series? I can tell you the New South Wales fans have been very chirpy. They think it's going to be a whitewash now. So we'll just have to see now if Queenslanders can finally turn around, and what changes can Billy Slater make.
Yeah, nothing Queensland like more than being in the position they are in right now. Dane Lillingstone, thank you.